Departure of French troops from Côte d'Ivoire. Alassane Ouattara attempts to play Assimi Goïta by surfing the sovereignty claims of the West African peoples. Here is the truth. Alassane Ouattara is a liar, and President Laurent Gbagbo, his predecessor, had already proclaimed this loud and clear.
Mais Alassane Ouattara est un menteur. Et je le répète pour vos auditeurs et pour vos téléspectateurs, il ne faut pas que les gens fassent attention à son esbrouf. C'est parce qu'il est menteur.
During his end-of-year address to the nation, the old man attempted a lamentable bravado, suggesting that he himself had demanded, almost threatened, France to withdraw its occupying troops from Ivorian territory. In reality, he desperately seeks to compare himself to historical or current figures who had the courage to defend the sovereignty of their country. In 1966, with an audacity that commands respect, General de Gaulle demanded the withdrawal of American troops from French soil, affirming that France must regain its full sovereignty.
American military personnel and installations in France may only be a memory if General de Gaulle's April 1st, 1969...
Un débat partage alors la Maison-Blanche. Réagir ou laisser faire. Johnson tranche.
Lyndon Johnson a réagi en disant « Si quelqu'un vous demande de quitter sa maison, vous prenez votre chapeau et votre manteau, vous dites au revoir et vous partez sans faire de vagues. »
More recently, General Assimi Goïta, leader of Mali, firmly demanded the departure of French forces despite opposition from Paris. But Alassane Ouattara has none of these men. Unlike de Gaulle or Goïta, he only capitulated to foreign interests throughout his reign. Knowing he was completely out of step with the legitimate aspirations of the West African people for more sovereignty, the old trickster tried to give himself false glory by asserting, "Dear brothers, dear sisters, we can be proud of our army whose modernization is now effective. It is within this framework that we decided on the concerted and organized withdrawal of French forces in Côte d'Ivoire. Thus, the camp of the 43rd Baima, the Marine Infantry Battalion of Port-Bouat, will be handed over to the Armed Forces of Côte d'Ivoire from this month of January 2025. To mark this new stage in the life of our army, I decided to name this camp after General Ouattara Thomas Diaquin, a soldier with an exceptional career and the very first Chief of Staff of the Ivorian Army." But nothing could be further from the truth. In reality, this withdrawal is not concerted. The decision was taken sovereignly by France, after a series of humiliations inflicted by the people of Mali, Burkina Faso and Niger, who chased French forces from their territories. Seeking to limit the damage to its image, Paris has opted for the withdrawal of its troops in several African countries, except Djibouti. And what does the old guy do when faced with this decision? The coward of the lagoons, unable to stand up to his masters, begged, with tears in his eyes, for the French troops to stay in Ivory Coast. Yes, begged. Jean-Marie Bockel, during his speech in the French Senate, confirmed this with clarity. When I informed Alassane Ouattara of France's decision to withdraw its troops from Côte d'Ivoire, he begged for them to remain. I told him that he did not have to worry, because the French forces had the capacity to redeploy quickly if necessary. How, after that, does the octogenarian super-liar dare to compare himself to General Assimi Goïta, who stood up to France with firmness, demanding and obtaining the departure of French forces, despite opposition from Paris? The old guy is an impostor of the worst kind, a manipulated puppet, incapable of defending the sovereignty of his country. This departure of French troops, which he presents as a personal victory, is nothing other than the result of a unilateral decision by France against which he vainly tried to oppose. Alassane Ouattara is a disgrace to Ivory Coast, a master in the art of duplicity and submission to foreign interests. Chris Yapi does not lie. Find Chris Yapi on his 2 YouTube channels, his Rumble channel, his TikTok, X, Instagram, VK and Threads accounts.